Rick Harrison's journey to fame has been anything but smooth. Best known as the face of Pawn Stars, Rick has faced more than his share of personal tragedy and legal turmoil. From heartbreaking family losses to intense courtroom battles, his path to success has been marked by pain behind the scenes. Born Richard Kevin Harrison on March 22, 1965. Rick was the third of 4 children raised by Richard Benjamin Harrison, famously known as the Old Man, and Joanne Rue Harrison. Tragedy struck early in Rick's life. His eldest sibling Joanne was born with Down syndrome and passed away at just 6 years old. Her death left a lasting, emotional mark on the family. Just 2 years after Rick was born, family relocated to San Diego, California, in 1967 due to his father's service in the U.S. Navy. Not long after, Rick began suffering from epileptic seizures which forced him to spend much of his childhood in bed. It was during these quiet hours that Rick fell in love with books, particularly the Great Brain series by John D. Fitzgerald, which followed a clever young con artist. That character would unknowingly inspire Rick's own future path. A natural lover of history and science, Rick once dreamed of becoming a history professor, but life took him in another direction. He dropped out of Taft Middle School in the 10th grade and began hustling on the streets of San Diego, selling fake Gucci bags and reportedly earning up to $2,000 a week. In 1981, Harrison family moved to Las Vegas after their real estate business collapsed. Rick was only 16. Life would change drastically again when his girlfriend Kim became pregnant. Sadly, their first pregnancy ended in miscarriage. Despite the loss, the couple married in 1982 and welcomed their first son, Corey, a year later, who would eventually become a key figure in Pawn Stars. 2 years later, they had another son, Adam, but the young marriage couldn't last. Rick and Kim divorced in 1985. 9 months later, Rick met Tracy. Their relationship moved quickly, and by 1986, they were married. Together, they raised Corey and Adam as a blended family. Meanwhile, Rick and his father were working toward a dream: opening their own pawn shop. In 1989, the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop opened its doors in Las Vegas. Years later, Pawn Stars would premiere on the History Channel in 2009 and become a worldwide phenomenon. Yet fame didn't shield Rick from misfortune. Over the years, he faced mounting legal challenges, including lawsuits related to business deals, employee disputes, and family inheritance. Disagreements after his father passed away in 2018. Despite their public bond on screen, the death of the old man deeply affected Rick, and tensions with other family members over the estate added more emotional strain. And just when it seemed things were settling, Rick suffered another blow with the loss of yet another beloved family member, someone crucial to both his personal life and business. The details around this recent tragedy only added to the complex legacy he carries. Despite the awards, fame, and wealth Pawn Stars brought him, Rick Harrison's life has been one marked by resilience through grief, setbacks, and controversy. His story is more than just a reality show. It's a testament to enduring hardship while still standing tall. Before Pawn Stars became a household name, Rick Harrison and his father were simply trying to keep a small business alive in the heart of Las Vegas. It all began when Rick's father, Richard the Old Man Harrison, opened a modest second-hand shop specializing in gold and silver coins on Las Vegas Boulevard South. Rick's passion for history became a valuable asset. His ability to tell the stories behind each item gave their shop a unique edge in the industry. To support the business in its early years, Rick even worked night shifts repossessing cars. After 5 years, they moved the shop to a larger building on Fremont Street. Fortunately, due to a lease issue, they had to relocate again just 2 years later. But through it all, Rick and his father remained focused on a bigger dream: turning their store into a full-fledged pawn shop. There was just one problem: a Las Vegas law from 1955 strictly limited the number of pawn licenses, allowing only one for every 50,000 residents. They had to wait until the city's population hit 250,000 before they could even apply. After years of persistence and patience, they finally secured their license in 1989. That same year, Rick and his father launched the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop at 713 Las Vegas Boulevard South, just off the Strip. In the beginning, focused on selling rare sports memorabilia and historical artifacts. Over time, however, jewelry became their top-selling category. Their business steadily grew in popularity. At one point, they were loaning out millions of dollars annually and earning hundreds of thousands in interest. One of their standout items was a 2001 Super Bowl ring, once owned by NFL player Brock Williams. Just one example of the high-profile, one-of-a-kind collectibles the shop became known for. Their success didn't go unnoticed. In 2008, producers Brent Montgomery and Colby Gaines of Left Field Pictures were in Las Vegas, looking for a compelling family-run business to turn into a reality show. That's when they discovered the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. It's located just under 2 miles from the Strip. Coincidentally, Rick had been trying to pitch a similar concept for years. The shop had already been featured in a 2001 PBS documentary and again in 2003 on Insomniac with Dave Attell. Initially, producers tried pitching the show to HBO as a spin-off of Taxicab Confessions, but the concept evolved. It was eventually reworked into a family-friendly reality series that suited the History Channel's push for more mainstream content. Originally titled Pawning History, the name was changed to Pawn Stars to better reflect the brand. The show also introduced on-screen experts and personal conflicts among the cast to keep viewers engaged. Filmed inside the actual Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, each episode showcases vintage and antique items, focusing heavily on jewelry, which makes up the bulk of their sales. The store holds approximately 12,000 items at a time, with 5,000 or so on pawn. Items brought in by customers are examined for historical value and authenticity, and viewers are treated to negotiations and expert opinions in real time. Occasionally, it gambles by purchasing items needing restoration without knowing the final cost. To maintain a smooth filming process, the shop is closed to the general public during shoots. With only pre-approved customers allowed inside, the show debuted in July 2009 and quickly became a hit. By January 2011, Pawn Stars was the #1 program on the History Channel, and the second most watched reality show on cable TV, trailing only Jersey Shore. Capitalizing on his newfound fame, Rick released his autobiography, License to Pawn. In June 2011, it became a New York Times bestseller, peaking at number 22 on the list. He also contributed to other works like Deals, Steals, and My Life at the Gold and Silver. However, not all was smooth behind the scenes. In 2011, Rick's marriage to his second wife, Tracy, came to an end when she filed for divorce. Despite personal setbacks, legal hurdles, and family challenges, Rick Harrison's vision never wavered. From a small coin shop to global fame, Rick and his father built a business empire that's now forever etched in television history. In the years following his rise to fame on Pawn Stars, Rick Harrison continued building both his personal life and business legacy, but behind the scenes, tragedy and legal turmoil continued to follow him. After 2 failed marriages, Rick found love again and proposed to Deanna Burdett, a fellow divorcee. Their wedding took place in picturesque Laguna Beach, California, bringing Rick 3 stepdaughters, Serena, Kiana, and Marissa. Around this time, Pawn Stars was at its peak. Rick, Corey, and Chumlee even made a guest appearance as themselves on iCarly in the episode titled I Lost My Head in Vegas. Just 4 days later, Rick appeared in an episode of The Middle, playing an antique store owner. Rick's fame brought new opportunities. In January 2014, he signed a 1-year endorsement deal with Microtouch One, a men's shaving product, and starred in a national commercial. That same year, the History Channel launched United Stuff of America, followed by Pornography, a game show spin-off, where Rick, Corey, and Chumlee competed against contestants for valuable items from the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop. Despite all the success, 2018 delivered a devastating blow. On June 25th, Rick's beloved father, Richard "the Old Man" Harrison, passed away after a long battle with Parkinson's disease. Rick announced the heartbreaking news on Instagram, writing, "My dad passed away." Parkinson's disease was the main factor. I will miss him tremendously. The History Channel released a tribute, calling the old man a beloved part of both Pawn Stars and the network's family. Richard's passing left Rick emotionally shattered him, burdened with the full weight of the business. Then came the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2020, as the world shut down, so did parts of Rick's operation. Though many expected pawn shops to thrive during hard economic times, Rick saw a different reality. In an interview with Fox News, he explained how business took a major hit. The gold and silver pawn shop had to shut down its tourist section for 30 days. And only the financial division remained active through a 24/7 night window. According to the Las Vegas Review-Journal, the shop's CFO explained, "We kept buying assets and running the loan business because people were hurt." Still, Rick and his team made adjustments, lowering interest rates and giving customers more time to reclaim items. Rick hoped for a quick economic rebound, but it never came. In 2020, the shop, which usually generated over $1 million annually, brought in just $137,046, according to the Daily Mail. That same year, Rick's third marriage came to an end. He and Deanna filed for divorce in September 2020. Court documents revealed that they had grown apart, with different lifestyles and values. Rick told TMZ the split was mutual, adding, "I got 3 amazing daughters out of it." Despite the divorce, Rick remained close with his stepdaughters, often posting loving tributes to them on social media, including an off-roading trip where he called them his girls. But just when things seemed to settle, another storm hit. In February 2022, Rick found himself at the center of a legal battle with his own mother, Joanne Rue Harrison. She filed a lawsuit against Rick, alleging that he had mishandled family assets and taken control of the pawn shop under questionable circumstances. According to the suit, Joanne claimed Rick pressured her into signing away her 51% ownership of the shop while she was still recovering from a coma in the early 2000s. She alleged that she didn't understand what she was signing, and that Rick never provided full financial documentation regarding over $500,000 in cash and silver she believed belonged to her late husband. When Richard passed in 2018, his 49% share was left to Joanne. But according to her legal complaint, Rick stopped sending her the $25,000 monthly allowance she had been receiving from her husband's share. In 2020, she sought a court order to reinstate it, and even filed for a temporary restraining order to block Rick from selling any family assets. For fans who had admired Rick's strong family values, the lawsuit was shocking. It painted a painful picture of fractured relationships and deep mistrust within the Harrison family. Despite the heartbreak, Rick pressed on. With the help of his son Corey and best friend Chumley, he kept the gold and silver pawn shop running. Through lawsuits, lockdowns, and personal loss, in 2021, Rick married Amanda Palmer, his 4th marriage, hoping once again for a fresh start. But the story of Rick Harrison is more than a reality show success. It's a saga of ambition, loyalty, grief, and resilience. From humble beginnings to the top of cable television, Rick built a global brand, but not without paying a heavy personal price. Rick Harrison's darkest chapter: legal battles, family loss, and the fight to carry on. Rick Harrison, the face of Pawn Stars, has weathered immense personal and professional storms. From lawsuits and restraining orders to heartbreaking loss, the last few years have tested him like never before. After his mother, Joanne Rue Harrison, filed a lawsuit against him in 2022, tensions within the Harrison family reached a breaking point. The suit alleged that Rick had mishandled family assets and unfairly took control of the family business. As part of her legal request, Joanne sought a restraining order to prevent Rick from hiding cash, moving assets, or doing anything that could further reduce her financial stake. She demanded unspecified damages, a full accounting of the business's finances, and the creation of a constructive trust to return control over her property. Rick denied all accusations, saying in an interview that others were manipulating his 81-year-old mother for their own gain. He said he only learned about the restraining order through the media and had been unable to reach Joanne despite repeated attempts. Rick also pointed out that one of the companies listed in the lawsuit was fully owned by Joanne herself, which Added to the confusion, in court documents, Joanne stated that while Rick lived a celebrity lifestyle and held full control over the family's finances, she was left frightened and unsure if she could even afford her ongoing medical and personal expenses, which reportedly totaled up to $155,000 per month due to her need for 24-hour care. But even amid the legal chaos, nothing could prepare Rick for what would happen next. The greatest loss. Saying goodbye to his son in January 2024, Rick faced the most devastating moment of his life, the death of his son, Adam Harrison. Adam, who was just 39 years old, passed away from an accidental overdose caused by a combination of fentanyl and methamphetamine. The Clark County Medical Examiner confirmed the cause of death. His body was discovered by his landlord on January 19th after he had not been seen for 2 days. Rick confirmed the heartbreaking news through Instagram, posting a photo of him and Adam at a restaurant with the caption, "You will always be in my heart. I love you, Adam." On January 22nd, the family released a public statement through spokesperson Laura Herlovic, confirming that Adam's death was caused by a fentanyl overdose. They asked for privacy as they mourned their loss. Rick later spoke out about the growing fentanyl crisis in the United States. Using his personal tragedy to raise awareness, support flooded in from fans and public figures alike, including Donald Trump Jr., who extended his condolences via social media. Adam's older brother, Corey Harrison, also paid tribute with a childhood photo of the two, writing a heartfelt message in memory of his brother. While Adam had once worked at the gold and silver pawn shop, he preferred life outside the spotlight and later became a plumber. Corey had previously explained that Adam was never interested in being on Pawn Stars, choosing a quieter path instead. Despite his crushing loss, Rick has continued to push forward, often masking his pain with a smile. His resilience in the face of adversity is a reminder that even public figures suffer deeply behind closed doors. Rick's political and personal rebirth in recent years. Rick has also dabbled in politics, a vocal supporter of Donald Trump and former congressional candidate Daniel Rodemer. Rick expressed interest in running for Nevada governor in 2022, though he didn't officially declare. His cryptic remark, "Never say never," kept people speculating about a possible run for U.S. Senate in 2024. Outside politics, Rick received a unique honor in 2023. He was named a Kentucky Colonel, the highest title awarded by the Commonwealth of Kentucky. He was officially inducted during an episode of Pawn Stars Do America, filmed partly at historic Locust Grove. His induction into the Kentucky Colonels Grand Parlor took place in June 2023. Now Rick no longer works full-time at the gold and silver pawn shop. Instead, he focuses on filming Pawn Stars Do America, which returned for its second season, and cherishes time with his grandchildren and close family. Despite the loss of his son, ongoing legal disputes with his mother and 3 divorces, Rick Harrison remains standing, a man shaped by success, grief, and survival, as he enters this new chapter of life. Fans can only hope that brighter days lie ahead for one of reality TV's most familiar and enduring figure.